Welcome back. I hope you're doing well and staying warm. It is January, so another deadline is right around the corner. This next one is 1099s. So we're going to talk about if you need to file any 1099s before that January 31st deadline and how to do that. So first, who needs to file 1099s? And we're talking specifically about 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation, and 1099 MISC for miscellaneous income to vendors. So you may need to file 1099s for people that you have paid if you are a business owner or if you own rental real estate. In either case, you would issue them to service providers, independent contractors, subcontractors, landlords. Those types of payments are the ones that are reportable on 1099s. So as a best practice, as a business owner in particular, make it your process to request a W-9 form from your vendor before you pay them. It's much easier to get it from them then than to try to track them down for it in January. And if you find when you receive the W-9 or you find when you end up paying them, or maybe they didn't end up doing the work and you didn't pay them at all, maybe you aren't required to issue them a 1099. That's fine. At least you had the W-9 and you didn't have to chase them down for it. Save this information. So the W-9 is asking them for their business name or their personal name if that's how they're doing business, their tax ID number, which is going to be their social or their EIN, not their Washington State ID number, their mailing address, and the type of entity they are. So whether they're a sole proprietorship or a corporation, how they're taxed with the IRS. And that'll be important in a minute. So when you receive this information, again, a best practice is to save this information into your QuickBooks file in that vendor information section. That way you'll know that you have it. You don't have to chase them down for it again next year, although it is helpful to find out if they have an address change during the year. So the next step, now that you have the W-9s, is to calculate the total that you have paid to your vendors. Don't include payments by credit card. So if you paid them by credit card or by Square, or they sent you a QuickBooks invoice and you paid them that way, those payments don't need to be included in the 1099 that you issue to them, because they're going to receive a 1099-K from the credit card processor for those dollars. If you paid them less than $600 for the year, you also don't have to issue them a 1099. So the next step, you know who you're paying, you know how much you paid them, and then the next step is to choose what platform you're going to use to file your 1099s. QuickBooks does have an integrated process. I haven't used it, so I don't have screenshots for you. We've used eagleviewfiling.com in the past. The screenshots I'm going to use today are from tax1099.com. So when you log into a platform like Tax 1099, there's often a button that says Start New Filing. In this case, it's here. When you start a new filing, it's going to ask you, what form are you filing? So the two that we are talking about today are the 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation, and the 1099 MISC. The 1099 MISC is what you're going to report rent on. So if you, as a business, if you are renting office space or warehouse space and need to report the amount of rent that you paid, you're going to use 1099 MISC, box 1, rents. If you are reporting anything else, generally those subcontract or independent contract service fees, those are going to go on 1099 NEC, box 1, non-employee compensation. As you could see from this snippet of a screenshot, the options were much, much larger. There are many other kinds of 1099s, but these are the two most common that business owners need to file. So in this particular platform, it really just shows you what the form looks like, and you just fill it out. Pretty straightforward, really. You include your information, so your business name or your name, depending on the way that you are taxed, your address, your tax ID number. Again, it's either going to be an EIN if you have a corporation or a partnership. It could be your social security number. And then the recipient, so the information from the W-9 that they gave you with their EIN or social security number, their name and address. And then box 1, how much did you pay them? That's it. Most platforms are going to give you the opportunity to save and add more. If you need to do multiple, save and continue if you're just ready to just file this one. There are usually options to import bulk data as well. If you have a bunch of 1099s, there's often an opportunity to just upload a spreadsheet with this data and create multiple all at the same time. At the end, you're going to select and pay for it to e-file that form. And generally, you're going to have the system mail that form to your recipient as well. Most of the systems will do that for you for an extra couple dollars. Saves you the time and the energy to do that. It should also give you the option, if you would prefer, to just print the recipient copy so you can hand it to them, or you can mail it to them yourself. They often also give you the opportunity to e-deliver it, so to email them a link to a portal to go retrieve it for themselves. But you really need permission from the recipient to only do an e-delivery method. You really have to mail it to them unless they've opted for an electronic version. So that's the process. The one thing we didn't talk about was you've received the W-9, who of those vendors actually does need a 1099? Those are going to be anybody who is not marking that they are a corporation and is not marking, so S Corp or C Corp. Corporations you don't have to issue them to, but anybody else, if they are a sole proprietorship, if they are a partnership, if they are an LLC taxed as a sole proprietorship or partnership, they have to receive these 1099s. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have ideas for what we should talk about next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.